Hello and welcome back. Today, the Flame Wight Origin will finally join into the package line, adding more danger to the overworld. So let's start. The Flame Wight Origin is amongst the rarest of the demon that can be encountered by the demon hunter. There is so much little knowledge about this specific demon, nor its actual point of existence or how it came to be. At one point in time, a group of demon hunters actually discovered this demon by accident, and well, a squad of them actually, only one remained to actually live to tell the tale, basically. So for the very first positive of this demon is that every time you press your sprint, every 1 second that is, you actually disappear from existence and gains a burst of movement speed. The interesting part about this ability is that once your health drops below half of its max, let's see like that one, you will actually throw down a trail behind you. Now this trail I will explain later on. So that trail, that specific projectile that you leave every time you sprint, as long as your health is below half. So keep that one in mind. Now let's talk about the projectile that I mentioned about earlier. When you press your primary key, you shoot down a projectile that moves in a straight line and that can pass through any blocks. So let's see, let me just shoot one up the tree, and so I can actually show you that actually phases through blocks. Let's wait for the cooldown. That one. Now, if an entity is near that projectile, they will become mesmerized by the effect of that projectile. And if they come in contact with that projectile, they will be affected by your Scorching Blaze ability. Now, the Scorching Blaze works differently from mobs and players. So if we hit a mob here, they will be mesmerized, and when they are hit by the projectile, they take damage over time. Now, the damage will last until the entity itself dies. That's that one. So let's talk about the Scorching Blaze ability on the next one. Now, the Scorching ability. This ability will make any origin that takes damage from water will have a very bad time when going up against this origin. And I will show you why. When you hit a player with basically your projectile, they will gain well, let me just type in this command. They will gain a Scorching Blaze curse, basically. Now this curse will basically slowly rise up over time, and it actually takes a while for it to be maxed. Now let's see, if you actually take fire damage, let me just get a flint and steel, or if you're affected by fire, the Scorching Blaze ability, well, the resource for it will actually dramatically increase. And once that is full, let me just type in a command real quick, if I can remember how to do the command. Or we can just wait until fire. There we go. Let me just burn for a while. Now once that is maxed, they will actually take damage over time, same as a mob would. As long as that is full, actually, you will actually take constant damage. Now, the only way to get rid of this is either by taking a dive underwater, or you go to the jungle itself. Let's see. Let's teleport here. Now, if you actually are in a jungle... Oh, crud. Okay, there we go. If you are in a jungle, the curse of the Scorching Blaze will actually be removed way faster. So if you're not in anywhere near a jungle, and if you are, well, an origin that takes damage to fire, I'm sorry for you. You're just going to have to basically respawn just to shake off the Scorching Blaze. And that is for the Scorching Blaze. Okay, now we are going to talk about the Flame Wight's most powerful positive, actually. This one will actually take control of the battlefield that you are in, or a large area that you are in. Now, pressing your secondary key will actually cut a time through space that will repeat the event that caused you to become the Flame Wight Origin. So if we press our primary key, you will actually summon a ritual. Now, when you come in contact with this ritual, you will actually hear the events that transpired to you becoming the Flame Wight. And now, every 10 seconds for the duration of that ritual, you actually heal yourself. Also, and one more thing. Entities that are affected, entities, both players and mobs that are affected by your Scorching Blaze, you will actually heal from them. Every demon will actually heal from them over time, that is. There we go. Now, before we actually end with the, well, basically those are the pros. I want to talk more about the ritual. Okay, the ritual or your secondary key actually has unique interaction differently from both players and mobs themselves. So if I summon a husk over here and I am for example, I am affected by the Scorching Blaze caused by the Flame Wight. Now, if the Flame Wight actually put the ritual and you are near that ritual, you will actually suffer one of the following curses. So let's wait for it. There we go. You suffer glowing, and you will actually burn, and thus far increasing the resource for the Scorching Blaze. So if you are near that ritual rites, you better get out of there, because you will be a few steps closer towards death. There we go. So let me just power clear myself, and I'm gonna re-choose the Flame Wight. So let's start with the negative, basically. So, all right, so here we are. The Flame Wight's Origin's negative side, there are actually only two. So this origin is actually extremely powerful already based on just those two negatives. But one of its greatest downside is that you can't use your abilities in the overgrowth or in the jungle. So if any of your abilities comes in contact with the jungle, they will actually be dispelled by the jungle themselves. Even placing your own ritual inside the jungle will actually automatically dispel it themselves. That is kind of what makes the Flame Wight wacky and kind of just never go to the jungle themselves, because that biome is really bad for you. So for the next, now for your greatest downside or your greatest con is the Death Beyond the Realm. I believe that's the name. Okay. Now this is more rewarding towards the players and mobs that actually attacks you. So by this point in logic, as the Flame Wight Origin, try not to get damaged by anything, because there will be actually specific consequences. For example, let's start with this one. I embedded a tag for this demon, so if they actually attack you, they will take damage themselves. So any demon type that actually attacks you will actually take damage. But if a non-demon entity, including players, attacks you, they will actually heal themselves, as you can see for the heart in there. So taking it more into consideration, try not to take damage from any entity, because they can just heal off of you. And one more thing. Now remember your sprint, right? I've kind of forgot to mention this on the previous one. This sprint, this ability, Crimson Disperse, is actually extremely powerful, because you can just do this half of the time. So let's summon a creeper and prevent it from exploding. Now if you do this with the Underman as well, it works the same way. So if I look at the Underman, I can just stop it by pressing my sprint. Note that this will not work with entities that has memory. So if I summon a zombified piglin here, and then I hit them, it will actually remember you. So like, try to keep that in mind. And basically, yeah, that's it for the Flame Wight Origin. So see ya.